confidence expert Seán Brickell is here to help you get your vote of confidence back. Glad to have you here,
Vanessa,
Seán.
thank you very much.
Thank you for coming. Now, confidence is your speciality. The problem is, when your confidence plummets, it's incredibly hard to build it back up again, isn't it?
It is. Your levels of confidence can make your life witheringly worthless or wonderfully worthwhile, but if you're determined to do something about it. The key thing is to remember that confidence isn't an absolute. Say you come on a masterclass of mine, you think, well, I've done the Seán Brickell masterclass, great, got the certificate, put my feet up, I'm confident for life. It doesn't work like that. It's a variable and it's situational. And there's some things you'll be very confident at, and others. And we saw your show last week. You did the other week where you did a DIY thing. That wouldn't. If somebody said, Vanessa, put a kitchen together, that's not your thing.
No.
Do a TV show? Yes, you could. And a radio show? Yes, of course. So it is situational, but also you've got to have the determination to do it. And that's the key thing. There are various practical and psychological exercises you can do to make it happen, but you've got to be determined. And you've got to principally, out of various aspects of confidence, you've got to have the courage to take the action you need to make things happen. And not just talk about it, and say, yeah, I can do it, I think I believe in myself, and then not do anything, and watch as things go by. Life is full of great opportunities. And did some research for a book I've got coming out in a few weeks' time called Don't Shoot, I'm Not Well, Confidence When You Really Need It.
Yeah.
So named because I've been held through my career and even life held at gunpoint in ugly situations by angry people. Or was it ugly people with angry situations? That's maybe why they were angry. And,
I think the latter.
and what do you say? Don't shoot, I'm not well. I've got to make it to the Vanessa Show.
That's
and,
right,
in that
very
case, then you've got to go. So, and the key thing is that there are all sorts of people, no matter how famous or who aren't well known, who've had confidence issues. I mean, in the book, got Sir Ranulph Fiennes, we've got Sir James Dyson. Sir James Dyson is an amazing man. It took him 15 years and 5,127 attempts before he got his perfect vacuum cleaner.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now that is resilience.
Wow.
Now that took confidence. His wife, who was a supply teacher, was supporting financially, and it's really hard, particularly for a man. But he stuck at it. It was persistence. And often people, though, they don't have the courage or don't think they do have the courage to take the action they need. And actually, do you know what? People see this great big wall. They see this fantastic wall. And do you know what? If you go the other side, you go through it, under it or over it, you actually realise how deceptively thin or even non-existent it is. And when you do what you want to do and you have a go, and the chances are you will succeed, the feeling you get is 100 to 1,000,000 times better, and that in turn will reinforce your confidence, and you can look back on the person you could have been and gone, thank God I didn't hang around there moping, just saying, oh, I'm not confident, my life is rubbish.
Do you think it's important to appreciate that in every great life story, which supposedly is a soaring success, there's always an ingredient of failure? The most successful people have had failures along the way. Big businessmen have gone bust. You know, hugely successful film stars have starred in turkeys that didn't make a penny at the box office. Nobody has a curve which is complete success going up, and I certainly haven't. My God, I've made a billion mistakes in almost everything. Don't you think that's something to kind of hang on to? So if you give it a whirl, it could fail. So what? The best people have failed.
Yeah, and failure, actually, it's how you deal with failure. It's how you react to these things.
Definitely.
And, you know, we've all had challenges in our careers and our lives. It's how you deal with it. And a lot of people don't often have the confidence. They don't know what to do. They think, what do I do? They assume that because they have confidence, don't have any confidence, that's it. They're in this sort of pool of unhappiness and they can't get out. They're sort of drowning in it. Well, actually, there are things they can do.
Well, joining us on Skype, we have our vivacious viewer, Gail. Now, Gail's from Glasgow. She's 29. She sent us an email, and this is what she said. I really wish I had your determination, Vanessa. You don't know the half of it, Gail, honestly. She says, I've been suffering with postnatal depression since my little girl was born. I put on a lot of weight. I'm just wondering if you and your advisors could give me help with how to get my confidence back. Hello, Gail. Nice to talk to you.
Hi there.
I mean, you know, postnatal depression, losing your job, it's tough to feel confident when all that's been going on.
It is, but I bet there's been a time in your life, Gail, well, actually you have felt confident. Is that true?
Oh, indeed, yeah. I think, you know, before this whole situation happened, everything was, you know, as confident as I could be. And then everything seemed to just happen at once and knock me for six.
OK, just out of interest, I'm interested to know what made you confident. Was it your work, or was it other aspects of your life? What gave you the confidence?
Definitely my work. I seem to be taking a lot of inspiration from what I did in my work, and, you know, felt like I was doing a really good job. And now that I'm not in that situation, I'm definitely sort of struggling. OK, well, that's interesting.
You know, your work life and non-work life are very much integrated. You should never separate the two. If I'm coaching a CEO, whatever, and he says, well, I got a problem at work, and I say, well, actually, I found out the problems invariably can be at home. And that is as important, if not more important, than what goes on in your work life. And what's happened, you should have a balance between your personal and professional lives. It sounds to me like you got your confidence just from your work, which says a lot about your personal life. And therefore, they both provide, if you have confidence in both and you get some sort of strength, they both act as a foundation, a balancing foundation. You only had one foundation stone. Of course, when that crumbled, everything came crashing down.
Can I just bring Amanda in on this? Because Amanda's been doing the same job brilliantly well for 7 years, starring in Holby City. Now that's all over. Have you felt a lack of confidence? Can you identify with what Gail's saying
Absolutely,
there?
absolutely. Because it becomes almost your identity. That becomes... Well, take away that work. And who are you? Yes, of course. I've left work and I've, immediately thought, am I capable of doing this job anymore? Am I going to, will I get employed again? Because it was so much a part of my life, and I hadn't really... It's quite interesting you saying about not separating them. I thought that was the thing you had to do to keep, work, keep everything, work over there and home here, and...
Oh, it's amazing.
You're saying not?
And Amanda's an amazing woman, a very talented actress, and I first fancied her in 4 Weddings and a Funeral.
Making a declaration. Go ahead. Go on, why not?
And what can I say? It's too late, forgive me. But she's done everything. And what with the breast cancer as well you've overcome, you've had some major challenges. Amanda's been in everything. Everything apart from basically a documentary on dispatches about unusual social habits for all I know, or even one of my home videos. So I kind of gutted about that. But yet you've come back. And one of the things that's interesting, if I was to say to you, and I'd certainly say to Gail, is the various simple things you can do psychologically and practically which will have an effect on your subconscious and your conscious mind.
All right, Gail, these are the things you can do. So this is especially for you, my love.
OK. Gail, one thing is to have an inspiring inventory. It's very simple. Get a sheet of A4 paper, or A3 if you're feeling really ambitious. And what you do is in the left-hand column, write down your qualities. Now, it could be the fact you're pretty, you are very perceptive, you're funny, you have a great bottom.
You're kind, you're generous, you're bright, you're good at gardening, you're a good knitter, whatever it is you do well.
Talented, highly qualified. I don't know what qualifications you have. I bet you have a lot of qualities. In the second column on the right-hand side, write down all your successes. Now, this could be the fact that you were the, Glasgow's under-12 welly-wanging champion.
Or you make a great apple pie.
Yeah, and also you've got a prefect school, or the fact that you've got your first ever job interview, or the fact that you were given a double pay rise in your first year because you were so awesome. If you look at it, and you really look at it, then you'll find these things. It will reinforce these things in your head. Because often, I imagine at the moment, Gail, you're probably thinking, well, actually, I haven't got, I've a lot going on. I've lost my job. I've kind of lost the person I was. There is more to you than your work. There is more to you in any woman than a man, and vice versa. And it's looking at the good things. We're very good at beating ourselves up, and we're not kind enough to ourselves. Do you know what, Gail? I bet you don't celebrate your little successes, do you?
But you know what? Can I also say...
Yeah, go on.
That you have to understand that you've created a life there. You have a baby. That is the most extraordinary thing. I mean, that is an incredible achievement. And I've had to learn. My friend called it a gratitude list, where the things you are really grateful for, the things that are really good in your life. And the fact is, you've created this wonderful, wonderful little person. And maybe it's about, you give the universe giving you a little more time to spend with your
Gail,
your
the best
one.
of luck to you and goodbye. I mean, I must say Ben's very, very good at that. Very good at doing that thing, counting your blessings.
Yeah, counting the blessings, the glass, half empty or half full. Someone once said to me, and it sounds really, really cheesy, but they said to me, you're alive, you're born. You were the you were the sperm that won the race. So you're born a winner.
You're ahead.
The fact you're alive, everyone's a winner. That kind of attitude, and as I say, it's cheesy, but it's really helped me at times where I felt down. I am a winner. The fact that I'm here means I've won.
Also, it's accepting who you are, all your beautiful, beastly, and even bizarre aspects. And you know what? Life happens. There will be bad times. But actually, if I was to say to Gail or anybody else, do you remember what happened in March, on Tuesday, the 3rd of March last year? Do you remember what happened? Precisely. You might have had a really bad day. You're not going to remember it because you had better days since. It's the way you look at your life. And something you have to accept. You're going to feel really rubbish about yourself. No matter how successful or charming you are, you're going to have bad days. It's a way of things, but you must... the key thing is have the resilience, which is a key aspect of confidence. Resilience to keep on going And to say, well, actually, yeah, I don't feel great today, but if you do this inventory, this inspiring inventory, but look at these qualities I have, look at the successes. And as you rightly said, bringing up a child or 2 children or more is a huge, huge achievement. I think it's the toughest thing you probably ever do, but the most rewarding by the same token. And so I don't think girls should be too hard on themselves.